Hello everyone, how you doing? It's really nice to be here on a Thursday afternoon. I was going to say sunny Thursday afternoon. We just had a massive downpour here in Leicester. I'm at that sort of age now where I'm like, oh, we need the rain. But we do really need the rain, don't we? Everything seems so dry. So it was nice to get that downpour. Everything feels and smells quite fresh. And hopefully that's what the yoga is going to be like today as well. Hopefully it will feel fresh. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? A little bit cooling. So make sure you're hydrated. I've got a cup of tea here. A nice bit of chai from my special teapot, which you see from time to time. And what we're going to do today is going to start standing. What do you think to that? Let me turn the comments on. Feel free to say hello. It's always nice to kind of connect with you guys. So what I'll do is I'll sit here for a little bit and I'll wait for someone to say hello to me. You won't be nobody. I'll be like, is there anyone there? What's going on out there? The virtual village hall are here. While I'm here, what I should say is sign up for the newsletter. It's really good. Upcoming events, special weeks that happen, tutor spotlights, and heartwarming stories. So yeah, there's lots of information there. And some really great ways to kind of catch up with the virtual village hall. And remember, I usually say this at the end, but Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, they're kind of the ways that I kind of connect. But then you've also got options like TikTok. If you use TikTok, do you use TikTok? I don't use TikTok, but I'm probably the wrong age. But what do I know? There's probably quite a lot of older people using TikTok as well. I don't know about TikTok. But if you're used to that platform, the virtual village hall are there. You'll see it. Look, tiktok.com @virtual village hall, and then the Insta, and then, as I said, all the other platforms, Facebook and YouTube. YouTube's my fave. That's because I'm watching car videos on there. So I've got car videos and yoga. That's the kind of guy that I am. All right, let's come to stand. And then we'll do a little bit of movement from standing. I'm going to put my tea here. All right, so come standing on your mat. Maybe have your feet about hip width apart. Make any kind of adjustments that feel good. I'm going to make a little adjustment to the camera angle. I'm going to do that. Is that all right? Too much, wasn't it? Like that. And you can see everything. So root your feet down into your mat and maybe bring your palms forward. So find yourself in Tadasana. This is mountain pose, right? This is where we start a lot of our classes. This is where we end up in a lot of our classes, but we generally don't start a lot of our classes this way. So just notice how this feels, starting a little bit differently today. Maybe close your eyes. And if you close your eyes, for me, there's a little sway through my body. I'm just kind of noticing how my balance is. And then I'll make the movements just a little bit bigger. So I might kind of just begin to kind of root down through my feet, but kind of circle my hips out just a little bit. Kind of notice where that balance point is. And I just keep breathing here. My heart's beating away quite fast, actually. It's probably from just getting up a little bit too quickly. And then if you can, find a tiny little bit of stillness just for a moment. And if you wanted to, you can do this lovely thing. You can bring one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and maybe set an intention for your practice today. And then if you had your eyes closed, maybe come with your eyes open. You can release your hands. How's that light doing? It's annoying me a little bit, to tell you the truth. What if I put it up there? It's better, isn't it? Much better. Just for me anyway. All right. With your feet about hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up towards the sky. And then exhale, comb your arms all the way back down. That's nice and simple, right? But you might be feeling a little bit of shoulder impingement. So just be careful as you do that. Inhale up. And exhale down. A couple more like that. Inhale up. And exhale as you bring the arms down. Maybe feeling a little bit of activation now. One more time. Inhale to bring the arms up. And then exhale to bring the hands down. All right, into a side bend. So inhale to bring the arms up. And then with your right hand, hold on to the left wrist. Take an inhale to lengthen. Reach down for your feet. Exhale, a little bend over towards the right. So what I'll generally do is I'll roll my right shoulder forward and my left shoulder back. Right hip forward, left hip back. So just a little bit of movement. But, mainly, I guess that stretch is coming from the left side of my body. Inhale to center, and then just swap that out. Keep the feet where they are. Hold on to the right wrist. Inhale to find length, and then exhale into your side bend. And then, again, maybe just kind of roll the left shoulder forward, right shoulder back, left hip forward, right hip back. Right, a little bit of a twist that goes on. One more round of breath, nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, comb the arms all the way down, nice and slowly. Maybe keep them here just for a moment. Just notice what this feels like. You can flip the palms down. You can flip the palms up. Maybe towards the back. Oh, that's a big movement through the shoulders, right? So you might do this kind of thing. I've got a little click going on. Oh, doesn't hurt. Just sounds like it should hurt, but I'm not sure what that is. A little impingement in my shoulder. So you get to notice these things when you practice physical yoga, right? Beautiful. Bring the hands down and then just give the shoulders a little shake out. So we're not doing anything too formal here. We're just kind of moving it out. Maybe just have a little move out through your feet. And if you wanted to, you can come up onto your toes. So maybe inhale and just lift up onto your toes. And then you lift your heels. Maybe the hands are on the hips. Nice. Maybe come a little higher. And then exhale, bring the heels down. And then just do that a few times in your own rhythm. If you feel a bit wobbly, just look at one spot out in front of you. And then coming back down. One more time for me. And then coming back down. Nice. A little bit of balance, a little bit of stretch. Now just sway a little side to side. Don't worry about what this looks like. Kind of just move a little bit in your own way. Nice kind of intuitive movements. We're going to do plenty of stuff seated today as well. Don't worry about that. So if you want to continue the practice in a seat, you're more than welcome. If you want to bring the arms a little higher, maybe do it this way. So inhale to the left, right hand on the heart. Exhale to the right, left hand on the heart. So you just kind of move it out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then maybe just slow it right down and then just let the arms be nice and heavy again if you're a little bit more formal like I did just then. Beautiful. Bring the hands so the palms are face forward. Take a deep inhale and then a full exhale. Beautiful. What we're going to do, we're going to come to the top of our mats. If you're not there already, I'm going to face this way. And then we're just going to do a little bit of movement with the breath through some sun salutations. So when you're ready, inhale to sweep the arms up. And then exhale to hinge and fold and come all the way down. You can keep a nice generous bend in the knees. See how much my knees are bent? That's all good. Inhale up to a flat back when you're ready. So you lengthen your spine as much as you can. Exhale, your hands are down and just step back, one foot then the other, and just come into a plank position. Take an inhale here in your plank. And then as you exhale, lower to the floor. So you can drop your knees or you can lower all the way down onto your belly. And then take an inhale, come into cobra. So you just raise your spine, you come up just a tiny little bit. Exhale, forehead down. And then when you're ready, push your mat away and then come into downward facing dog. So it's the first time you're in downward facing dog. Breathe it out. Nice deep inhales. And then full exhales. Maybe just walk the legs out like I'm doing. So I'll bend one knee and then I'll lengthen the other leg. And then just do that a few times on either side. Remember, lengthening the spine is more important than having the legs really straight. So you can do this and bend the knees. When you're ready, we're going to step to the top of your mat. And you might do that in a few steps, or you might do it in two. So what I do at the end of my exhale, I'll just step forward, one foot then the other, and I take an inhale to come up to a flat back. And then exhale to hinge and fold. And then I'll root down through my feet, inhale to come all the way up. And then exhale, frame my hands to my heart. We'll just do one more like that. So inhale up. Exhale to fold, hinge at the hips and come all the way down. Keep a bend in the knees. Inhale to your version of a flat back, and then exhale, hands down, step back, one foot then the other. Nice deep inhale into plank. Nice exhale to lower. Inhale into cobra. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Take your time. You don't have to be as quick as me. You might be a little quicker. You might be a little slower. Whatever works for you. Breathe it out. Find yourself in your second down dog. And then when you're ready, same thing again. We'll bend the knees. We'll hinge the hips. We'll look between the hands. And then gently step to the top of your mat. Same thing again. Line the feet up and then inhale to a flat back. And exhale to fold. And then root down through the feet. Inhale to come all the way up. And then exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. Beautiful. And then just pause. I'm going to face you, but just pause with your hands at your heart. Just notice how that feels within your body. Maybe close the eyes again. Beautiful. Really nice work. Fantastic. Bring the hands down. Give the arms and the shoulders a little shake out. See how that feels. Try not to make this too formal. Nice. And then from here, we're going to come to sit down on our mat. So if you want to come into a chair at this point, go for it. I'm going to bring my cup of tea with me because I'm that kind of guy. All right. So I'm going to sit cross-legged. You can sit any way that you want. If you want to sit on something, then I encourage you to do that. That can feel really good. Make sure you feel nice and hydrated. And then what we're going to do is just going to sit for a little bit of time in stillness, just noticing that energy you've created in those first few moves. So you can bring the palms up if that feels okay, and then lengthen your spine, and then maybe close your eyes, and then we'll just find a little bit of silence, a little bit of meditation together. And then maybe take another few rounds of breath, no rush. And if you had your eyes closed, just really gently and slowly come with your eyes open and give your fingers just a little wriggle out. We're going to stay seated for quite some time. So that's why I say a chair might be a good place to be. If you feel like sitting on the floor is a bit too much. Remember, I do a chair yoga class every week as well, which is designed specifically for chair yoga, but this one's a bit of a hybrid class. So when we sit like this, feel free to, practice in the chair. The most important thing is that you feel comfortable, right? Otherwise, we just don't want to do yoga. We go, I get on the floor and I sit cross-legged and it just doesn't feel right. So adapt your practice. This is not the right way to do it. It's not the wrong way to do it. It's just my way of doing it, right? So you might find a very different way. And I'll sort of guide you through some postures and some breath work. And then, you'll have your way of threading your practice within. Don't feel like you can get it wrong. You can't get it wrong. Yoga's not about being good or bad at it. It just isn't. It's just yoga, right? and we just move in different ways. So we kind of free ourselves of that expectation of like, oh, I've got to be this and oh, I've got to be that. Please try not to get into that mindset. Otherwise, yoga sort of defeats itself already. So it's nice, freeing practice. I've got my left shin in front. I'm going to bring my right shin in front. So I'm going to lean back. I'm going to separate my feet, thing that we do a lot. And then I would just kind of knock my knees to either side. And then I've got this nice little scissoring action going on. I'm grinning because it feels familiar and it feels pleasant. And it's a nice way for me to move my body. What we'll probably do once we've finished this seated sequence is do a few holds, which are a little bit longer. So kind of more of a yin yoga practice, but we won't have long to do that. So let's see if we get around to it. All right, bring your right shin or your left shin in front. It's my right shin because I had my left shin in front last time. And then we'll do something very familiar. We'll bring our hands onto our knees and then just move through some Sufi grind. So this is where you inhale forward and you exhale into your spine. So you just kind of draw circles with your spine. Nice and familiar. If you practice with me a lot or now and again, all right, you'll kind of see that we do this one a lot. I think it's just a really lovely way to get into the lower spine, get into the hips. And if your spine feels quite tight, then I encourage you to sit taller like this, you know, where you just kind of draw in circles. And if everything feels a little freer, you can bend into the elbows a little bit. They're just different versions, right? Sometimes nice to close the eyes. You're just moving your body out, right? You're just getting into those little nooks and crannies, and feeling into our body. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to develop a healthier relationship with our bodies. So, you know, we become more in tune with it and we work out what we need from time to time. Sometimes we need to just rest, right? We just need to be still. We've done a little bit of that already. And sometimes we need a little bit more where we want to be more active because we feel lethargic. But it's hard, isn't it? We all know as humans, it's hard to kind of work out what we need from one moment to another. And I really believe that intuition's a big part of that. And you get intuition by practicing, you know, and that's the felt experience and the learned experience. That's experiential learning. And I think that that's a really important thing as well. So for me, this is good. For you, it might not be so great. Inhale, come back to center. Hopefully it's acceptable though. Exhale, and then just come back the other way. See how this feels. Beautiful. When you're ready, inhale, come back to center. Spine is long. Take a full exhale. Nice. And then I'm going to swap my legs out again, just because I want to do that. I'm going to give a little knock from side to side. I'm going to bring my left shin in front. Again, you might be different. Whatever feels good for you. Sit nice and tall. Grab a drink if you want to. Nice. And then we'll do a little bit of movement through our neck, like we normally do. So you can drop your chin down and maybe just rock your chin a little from side to side. Now this is a relatively simple posture to do, but it can be quite powerful. So just notice how it feels. Don't push it. Don't feel like, oh, if I move my head quicker and if I do complete circles, it's going to be better. Probably isn't. You might strain yourself, so be nice and gentle. And then if you wanted to, you can circle your head all the way out. So you might inhale as the head comes up, and you might exhale as the chin falls down. Inhaling up, maybe exhaling down. And then if you wanted to, you can come back the other way. I'd recommend it. It's always nice to kind of bring the two sides in. Lovely. And then inhale, bring your head all the way back to center. And then take a full exhale. Really nice work. When you're ready, inhale to sweep your arms up. And then the same thing we did at the start, we're going to do a little side bend. So with your right hand, hold on to your left wrist, inhale to find length, and then exhale into your side bend. This time we're just going to move with the breath. So inhale to center, unclasp the hand, swap it out, left hand around the right wrist, exhale over towards the left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. Remember, it's not about depth. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. This time, inhale to center, separate the hands, and then exhale, twist to the right. So right hand behind, left hand on the right knee. Inhale to find length, and then exhale into your twist. Kind of breathe it out. Every inhale, find a tiny little bit of length. Every exhale, tiny little bit of twist. Don't expect too much. You're not sitting back too far, right? And you're not leaning forward too far. So I always, my hands like that, right? I'm kind of on my fingers because I just feel that that's more comfortable. Take one more round of breath. Nice. And then inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, and then exhale to the left. Right hand on the left knee, left hand behind. Inhale to find length, and then exhale into your twist. Nice and simple, right? You might need to breathe a little bit deeper. I get to stare at my skirting board and look at my cobwebs. A lot of cobwebs this summer, right? Inhale to come back to center, and then take a full exhale. Beautiful. Really nice. Swap the legs out again. Let's do a couple more things, and then we'll probably come back to standing, where I'd like you to do a few warriors today, because I think they're really nice ways of just moving the body and kind of strengthening everything. All right, what should we do? Should we do a spinal flex? Let's do a spinal flex. Bring the hands onto the front shin. Inhale the chest forward. Exhale round the spine. So you see that movement I just did. My head doesn't move. I mean, it does move up and down, but I'm not doing this with my head. So you inhale forward. Heart center lifts. My spine is very long here, right? And then you exhale, you round your spine. And I'm thinking about this part of my spine, where my hand is, lower part. Inhale forward, exhale as you round. So the pelvis begins to do this, right? It just rocks backwards and forwards a little bit like this. And you're just kind of flexing the spine up and down. It's quite a good one to do. We sometimes do it, I was saying, maybe last week or the week before, when we do spinal care week, this one always pops up. And then if you wanted to, you can get very yogic with it. You can close your eyes and kind of tap into your breath. Inhale up, exhale as you come down. But your rhythm, your speed. And if you're doing what I'm doing with the eyes closed, kind of focus in between the eyes. Probably enough, right? So inhale, bring the spine long, and exhale, and then maybe bring the hands onto the knees. I like to do this sometimes. The thumb and the forefinger just touch. This is called Gyan Mudra. It's a nice one to do. Little hand position, little mudra, and then just check in with your experience. For me now, there's a little hum, a little buzz of energy. It feels nice. There's definitely that aliveness in my body, something that I wasn't really feeling, half an hour ago. I was feeling a little tired, but now I feel a lot more energized. It's nice. All right, let's come back to standing. You can do that any way you want. I'm just going to grab my tea and then just come to stand. So I'm just going to push up using my hands and then come to stand. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my mat so I'm facing you. You can keep your mat exactly where it is. I'm just looking at my clock just to check the time. Make sure we've got enough time to do all this stuff today. So we're going to do, we'll do Warrior 1, and then I might move my mat back and do Warrior 2. But let's look at Warrior 1 in a little bit more detail. We don't do loads of warriors, right? And I think warriors can be just a really nice posture to bring into your flow. And usually you've got Warrior 1, Warrior 2, Warrior 3. But we'll just have a look at Warrior 1 today, shall we? So what we're going to do, bring the hands onto the hips. Let's do a little balance from here. So root down through your left foot and then lift up through your right knee. You're kind of thinking, I thought we were doing warriors, not balancing. This is a little prep, right? So, you know, we're not asking too much from you. We're just asking you just to bring that right knee up. And then see if you can step that right foot back. So you might do it nice and slowly. Now, Warrior 3 is when you're kind of here, but we're not doing that today. Maybe transition down. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to soften that back leg down. Now you can see I've just spun my toes out. And imagine like 2 o'clock on a clock face. That's kind of where they're pointing. And then with this left foot, which is the one pointing forward, let me just shuffle back a little bit. What you want there is you just want it to go a little bit wider. And then bring your hands onto your hips, and your hips want to sort of face this way. And then what you can do, I'm going to lengthen that back leg a little, and I'm going to just lunge into the left knee. Now just have a quick look at your left knee and make sure it's right above your ankle. And then when you're ready, inhale, you can sweep your arms all the way up. So this is Warrior 1, right? You don't have to kind of think too hard about this. You can be kind of here, or you can be here and kind of bend a little more into that left knee. And then think about your right hip. You want to just spin that right hip forward a little bit. So I would generally go off to the right. So I just want to kind of spin my torso. And then you can look up if you want. Nice. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down and just lengthen out through that front leg. Keep the back leg where it is. So just move like that. Inhale to sweep the arms up. And then exhale, lengthen that left leg, bring the hands down. Inhale to sweep the arms up. Nice. Exhale to bring the hands down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to bring the hands up. Bend into the left knee. Exhale to bring the hands down. Nice. This time what we're going to do, we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up, and then bring your thumbs out, and then draw your right arm back. This is dangerous, right? Because StreamYard sometimes brings fireworks out if we stick our thumb up, but it looks like it's behaving itself today. So this is called archer pose. Right arm is back, left arm is forward. Lunge into the left knee and just take some deep breaths here. Nice, gentle breaths, but nice and deep. Nice. And then bring the hands onto the hips. And then what you're going to do, maybe walk the left foot in a little, and then you can just step that right foot up to meet your left. I've got a sore heel, so that was really challenging on my right heel. So give your legs a little shake out. The shoulders, maybe a little spin from side to side. It can feel nice, remember. Nice work, everyone. And then let's do the other side. So we're going to root down through the right foot, hands on the hips. This is a nice prep. Kind of line the right foot up with a long edge of your mat, and then you can lift up through your left knee. So you're kind of here. So you're just finding your balance, and like we did on the other side, maybe you lift the knee a little higher, maybe you bring the foot down, whatever feels good. And then if you wanted to, you can sort of transition. This is kind of coming into that Warrior 3 shape, but we're going to soften the left heel down, maybe walk the right foot a little wider, bring the hands onto the hips, have a little manipulation of the hips in a very gentle way. Look at your back foot, 10 o'clock on a clock face, right? So if you look at it, you're like, yeah, that leg's nice and strong, long, right? It activated. Right knee, there it is, right? So nice generous bend in the right knee. And then again, I can see this left hip spinning off this way a little bit. So if I have my hands on my hips, without twisting that left knee, the back leg, I'll just kind of bring my foot around and just adjust, right? So I'm kind of here. And then I can think about bringing my arms up, but don't have to, right? You can bring your hands on your hips. Some people bring the hands together, so you're here. Some people are here. It's your choice. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, lengthen out through the right leg, bring the hands all the way down. So that takes a little bit of the activation out the strain, right? You should never strain, but, you know, just a bit easier. Inhale to bring the arms up. And then exhale to bring the hands down. I'm going to walk my right foot in just a little bit. Inhale to bring the arms up. Lunge into the right knee. And then exhale to bring the hands down. Let's do that one more time. With your breath, let it guide the movement. Inhale up. And then exhale, bring the hands down. Nice. Keep the lunge in the knee, right knee. Bring the arms up. Thumbs are up. In line with the shoulders. Draw the left arm back. There you go. There's the thumb. Nice. Oh, there we go. Now, some people will say that I did this on purpose. I didn't do it on purpose, I promise. Breathe it out. Inhaling, exhaling. Fireworks in the afternoon at about 7 minutes past 3. You can't beat it, can you? Maybe lunge a little more into the right knee. Take one more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the hands onto the hips. Little bump of the left foot. And then use your momentum to bring the feet forward. And then again, just kind of move a little from side to side. Beautiful. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my mat back around. Hopefully your mat is where it was. I think sometimes warriors are easier to see the alignment when you're facing forward. So from here, we're just going to come down onto all fours. Do that nice and gently. Let me bring my tea with me. It comes everywhere I go. And come onto all fours. And then maybe just move for a little bit of cat-cow. Because we're going to settle into child's pose. So inhale, drop your belly down, lift your head, lift your heart. Exhale as you round your spine. So these kind of foundational postures that we come back to time and time again. So they kind of become familiar. And then if you've got like, I don't know, 4 or 5 of these, then you can kind of thread your own home practice around them. So if you think, well, I'm going to do a bit of yoga and I don't know where to start, well, maybe start in cat-cow, right? And then you come into child's pose and then you might stand and do a few postures there. Let's inhale back to center. As you exhale, come into child's pose. And we'll hold this for a little bit longer. Remember, you can always support your head out on your hands like this. Or you can bring your forehead down onto your mat like this. You can have the hands out in front. You can bring the hands down by your heels. It's your choice what you do here. And we'll just stay for a little while. I'll be quiet. And then I just encourage you to take some nice deep breaths right up into your upper back, your ribs. After, I don't know, like 10 breaths or so, you might sort of feel everything begin to relax a little more. Gravity takes over. You sort of settle into the pose. Everything hopefully feels a little more reasonable. A couple more rounds of breath. And then from here, we're going to transition onto our back. So you can bring your hands by your knees, really slowly lift your head. Do that, all of that really slowly. I'm just going to move for a little bit of cat-cow before I come back down. I'm going to give my legs a little stretch out just because, you know, that's what my desire is. I feel like that's something I want to do. I'm going to move through a little bit of cat-cow. And then what we're going to do, we're going to do a little bit of shavasana. This will be our final physical posture where we let everything totally relax. And then what we'll do is we'll do just a tiny little bit of balancing breath after that, where we'll come to sit. So come to lie down, take your time getting there. You want to join me down on the back. You can always bend your knees in towards your belly as you come down. I think that always feels nice, you know, this kind of position. You can rock out a little on the spine. Anything that feels good for you here, just bring those movements in. And then when you're ready, bring the soles of the feet down on the floor. And then if you wanted to, you can lengthen your legs down your mat. And then from here, just find yourself super still. No distractions. And see if you can commit to this stillness just for a couple of minutes. And then from here, just bring a little bit of movement in. Maybe start with your fingers and your toes. As normal, go into your ankles and your wrists, and you might just begin to stretch your body out. Maybe a little yawn or a sigh. You can squeeze your knees back in. If that feels okay. Ooh, excuse me. If you did all that from a chair, then just bring some little movements in. And then what we're going to do is just finish very briefly with a tiny little bit of breath work. So I'm going to come much closer. It's tricky with my cup of tea. but I will eventually arrive. So you do this in a chair or with your legs crossed. Beautiful work, everyone. Fantastic. And then sit nice and tall. Bring your hands onto your knees and maybe close your eyes. What we're going to do is just do a little bit of nice coherent breathing. Inhaling, exhaling through the nose. Just noticing the effects of your practice today. And then if it feels good, maybe just soften your hands to your heart and press your thumbs into your sternum. Really nicely done, everyone. When you're ready, with a wholehearted bow, just wish yourself well and wish everybody else well. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. Thank you for coming along today. It's really nice to practice. I enjoyed that. Hopefully you got something from it. You know, what we're trying to do when we're doing yoga, I think, is we're looking just to feel a little bit better than we did when we started. And if that's kind of here, or if it's in the body, or if it's like energetically, right? If you shift that as you go through the class and you feel a little bit different towards the end, then I think we've done our job, right? It doesn't always have to be groundbreaking and kind of like mind blowing. Oh, at this moment, sometimes it's just day by day. In fact, it's never just like I say, sometimes it's always day by day, right? Because that's what we've got, moment to moment, hour by hour, day by day, and we just keep showing up, right? So as I always say, try lots more classes at the Virtual Village Hall. There's so much great content. It all comes out when you're looking on social media. If you're looking on YouTube, if you're looking on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, you'll kind of see things there. You'll see what's coming up for the week. Go, I'm going to do that one, might do that one, going to do that one. And then, you know, suddenly you've committed to 2 or 3 classes. It's your service, right? This is for you guys. So shape it and keep, you know, participating, because it's beautiful and it's really lovely platform for everybody to get together. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Maybe you check out a class tomorrow, and I'll see you all next week for chair yoga and this yoga. All right. Look after yourselves, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you later.